Escucha El Castillo del Metal, sábados 1 a 3 de la tarde por Zona Radio 88.4 FM de Medellín y por www.siglosdeguerra.com. La siguiente es una entrevista exclusiva con Infernus, guitarrista y fundador de la banda noruega Gorgoroth, aquí en la ciudad de Medellín, Colombia, el pasado 12 de septiembre de 2012, poco antes de su presentación. Con ustedes, Infernus. Well, first things first. This is your third time in Colombia and your first time in Medellín. And now, after Colombia, you're going to Ecuador, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala. What's next for Gorgoroth?
Then we'll focus on studio work and renegotiate with our European booking agency and try focusing on a very long tour in Europe at the end of next year. So it will be basically studio work, and if there's some fun things which shows up, maybe we could do single shows here and there, maybe, but there's nothing which is confirmed as of now.
Mm-hmm. I also knew you were also already working on the next Gorgoroth studio album, which is entitled Humanis Bestialis?
Instinctus Bestialis.
Oh, okay, Instinctus Bestialis. And how far has the process of the recording album has gone so far?
It's been slowing down the last months and actually the last year, so we're still more or less at the same spot we were like 1 year ago. We have done pre-prods for everything and demos, but there's still a way to go to improve the arrangement parts of it.
Yeah, well,
also now we have two new vocalists, one live and one for studio, and he as of now has not been given the lyrics for next album. So.
Who's going to perform the vocals on the studio? Is going to be Höst or is going to be Atring?
Atringner from Triumphal.
Yeah. Could you please elaborate some more about the recording and production process for this particular
album? It's basically
album?
me and Thomas Asklund who works. So it's kind of if it's better rehearsal or recording session, it all blends in, and it's a very, how call it?
Yeah, because you have gathered some quite remarkable individuals on certain recordings. I know that you're currently looking for a label. Any interesting propositions so far?
No, not yet.
No?
There's been lots of people attending with an idiot approach to what they are going to offer us. So as of now, there's been no one of interest.
Yeah, you also own your own record label for Satan Records.
Yes.
Right? Tell us a bit about the label. What's the process you follow to sign up some bands or whatever?
Yeah, with Force of Satan I only sign bands which I like, and it's a smaller perspectives we have on things there. So Force of Satan is not capable of handling Gorgoroth. Mm-hmm. It's a full-time thing. Mm-hmm. They could do some formats maybe, but we will not be able to do the whole job of presenting a new album through that label.
Okay. Some people here in Medellín in particular are very curious about, well, you're one of the pioneers of black metal movement. When they knew that I was going to interview, they asked me if I could ask you something about your first album, because the two first albums, the first album especially, because they like all the raw essence and the sound of the album. Do you remember how was this recorded?
Yeah, it was fun as always, but it was way back in time. So
yeah.
I remember we worked in achieving the goals we had at that point, being, and it was a good time. But my ideals in sound production has been changing, and I'll never work in Bergen again. That's why I go to Sweden.
That leads me to my next question, actually. Over the years, Gorgoroth has gained very notoriety and more exposure due to the process and the albums and some stage shows, right? What were your ambitions when you first founded Gorgoroth almost 20 years ago?
My ambitions was to do what I like most, to play and perform metal music, and to do it as good as I was capable of doing.
Did you
making me able to tour and make a living out of it.
And you're making a living?
Yeah, I could, but I used to have 3 side jobs as well, so I'm never having a day off.
Oh, yeah, terrible. Did you envision for once that Gorgoroth will take you to the place where you are right now?
What I was wishing for when I was younger, that's just speculation, but I would be happy to know then that I would be able to do what I'm doing today then.
You know, people here in South America are very superstitious, and they cringe when they see pentagrams and upside down crosses. But I don't know if those symbols are still effective in Norway. People still get shocked when they see those anti-Christian symbols, or is there any other taboo waiting to be shattered in Norway?
I think it's all a matter of which context it's in and which people who are being exposed to it. So some people are probably more than tired of it, while others could make a big fuss out of it. It depends on the setting, basically.
Yeah, because I read not so long ago that the union between church and state in Norway had come to an end, and I don't know, perhaps you could enlighten me. People in Norway in general are very religious.
No, it's quite much a secular country, and we also have a Protestant background since the mid-15th century. And we will see now ending, as we say, of the union between church and state means that the average taxpayer don't have to finance the rebuilding of burnt down churches, for example. Again, we will see a polarization that the fewer of those associating themselves with the church in the future, they will become a bit more devoted, I guess. Well,
this is kind of tricky, but I'll try to do my best. More than just a music style, some people tend to see black metal as a lifestyle, and some musicians actually combine those 2 factors very successfully in their musical offerings, compositions, especially focusing on 3 factors: aesthetics, lyrical content, and stage presence. Which one of those 3 elements have proven to be more effective with Gorgoroth?
That's a difficult one. Yeah, just do the easy way, jump to the next question.
Okay, perfect. Well, I know you're very secretive when it comes to the lyrics of Gorgoroth, and I won't question that decision. You sure have very valid reason for that. However, judging by the titles of certain songs, I think, this is my personal perception, I think gather some influence from German thinker and philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche. How does this philosophy reflects on your lyrics and your composition and in your life?
I wouldn't go specifically into that, but talking about Nietzsche, I'm fond of him as a writer. I've always been. As for the basic values of the band, it's built on a satanic fundament, and so are my lifestyle. In my choice of not giving away the lyrics to whoever, that's as another reason. The main reason is that I'm not fond of the thought of people should copy what we're doing. Okay. I don't find it charming with cover bands as such, and I don't want people in the world to spend time on reproducing what I have been doing. That's just miserable and tragic, instead of developing their own potentials.
Of course. Well, let's see what else, because I had some question about it, but that kind of eliminated. You know, I'm sure you're aware that black metal has become a research subject for some social scientists, and some symposiums have been carried out in certain parts of the world.
Yes.
How do you feel that black metal, both as a musical style and a movement, is subject to this research and speculation?
I don't feel too much about it, to be honest, and I don't associate myself with the average metal musician. I don't try to be a part of the scene. I just want to do what I am fond of. So when I'm back home, I never attend a pub to socialize with local metal musicians. I prefer, if I have spare time, to use that in other manners. So whether there's been conducted some research upon what is seen as black metal scene today, which I don't associate with, it's not a big thing for me.
Of course, so there's no point in asking what are your views on the current black metal scene, because you already had. So no comments on the current black metal movement or the musical directions.
Because I basically don't know. I don't know and I don't care.
Oh.
When I'm at home, I don't listen to black metal anyway. So.
What kind of music do you usually listen to?
80s heavy metal.
Is there any particular album people won't expect you to have on your collection?
I don't really care if people have expectations towards that or not.
Okay, perfect. So you say you're not very fond of the black metal scene, but how about the possible impact black metal, the eventual impact black metal may have on the real world?
Yeah, of course, I am fully aware of that. It can at best have a significant effect on waking up some few people out there, whether that materializes itself in an actual church arson or not. I'm aware of the phenomenon, but I would not go deeper into speculating upon the matter now.
Yeah, because this is something when I see these stage shows and all of that, I tend to look beyond what is actually seen. I call it aesthetic terrorism, in the sense that it might shock some people, but actually it also might shake some consciousnesses. Anyway, do you have any opinion about your former band members, and not specifically those two guys, Gal and what his name, but the persons you have collaborated with over the few years? For example, Samoth from Emperor and Tormentor. You still friends with them?
Yes, that's of course a reason why I chose to work with them in the beginning. So, of course, I have fond thoughts of most of the ex-members. Even it comes to a point sometimes that you realize you cannot continue the work together on a professional level. Mm-hmm. That in a grown-ups world, that shouldn't necessarily affect that people are getting less friendly towards each other. Mm. So I'm fond of most of the ex-members.
What about those bands who actually or eventually get more mainstream exposure? Do you see it as a sold out, or just?
I don't care. People must do what they feel is correct. As long as I am left alone with doing what I am feeling good with. I'm not moralizing other people how they should live their lives.
About your current label and the bands you signed up, you said you actually like it very much. What does a band has to have in order for you to like it? I mean, not as a requirement, but something that you see or something that you may listen in the band which triggers something in you.
It should make me feel something, and to give another answer than that would be difficult. It should move me somehow, and if it can, and there's not many bands today which does.
Do you feel comfortable talking about your personal beliefs?
To a certain extent.
So please, if I am crossing the line, please let me know, okay? I know this Satanism can be seen either as a metaphorical concept or a literal belief, but that it's up to each individual. I won't question that also. But again, judging from the titles, I see you take a stand on this Satan as a rebel symbol, right? As a free-thinking symbol, a Promethean symbol. What are your views on your personal? Well, it's metaphorical, or is it theological for you?
I don't know how to put it down to an easy and short answer, but next time.
Okay, so I hope perhaps we will have some opportunity to talk again. Gorgoroth does some extensive touring. Is there a place in which you have played that you won't return ever?
First of all, it's a myth, a misunderstanding that we have done so much touring, and we do some tours now and then when we want to, and when it feels correct. When we get a good deal, if we meet up with good people, get a good crew, etc. So we never did like 100 shows a year. Like
no, of course.
But of course, during the years we have met people which has been good and bad to us. And we have been to places which has been good and bad to us.
The extensive touring, I say that because not of the number of shows, but because of the regions and countries you have gone so far. For example, you have been in South America several times. Something that, I can recall a black metal band that has done so much touring here.
It's a matter of I enjoy being here, obviously, and I have also some contacts which enables me to do South America. But again, many bands, they tour every second year. They tour Asia or Australia. We never did it, or North America. So I wouldn't say it's really outstanding what they're doing.
Yeah, because Gorgoroth has played in great festivals like that one, Septiembre or Wacken, and even in small venues. Where do you feel more comfortable?
There's been many places through the years which has been good. So one year it could be a really good and good thing to go to Switzerland, for example, or some places in Germany are really good to us. It depends. Next year can be all different. It depends also much about the chemistry and the people we get to work with. If we can put up a professional crew around us. Some of your
crew right now are just live musicians, or some others will eventually be recording the next Gorgoroth album?
The next album will be recorded by Thomas Asklund and me.
Alone, and that's it.
And Atterigner. And most probably Frank Watkins based.
Okay, so that will be it. I hope to see you later on the show. I hope to enjoy it. It sounded the sound check was really great and really impressive. What can we expect from Gorgoroth in the near future?
You have to wait and see.
Oh, okay, great. That will be it.
Thank you for your time.
No, thank you for your time. Okay, so
take care.
Esta fue la entrevista de Infernus para el Castillo del Metal. Recuerden escucharnos todos los sábados de 1 a 3 de la tarde en los 88.4 FM Zona Radio de Medellín y por www.siglosdeguerra.com. Para el Castillo del Metal informó Daniel Meléndez.